Hi everybody, it's Stacy from Quick Quotes, and I am here today to walk you through step by step the May Club Q kits. There's two double page layouts, and as you saw in the beginning here, there is it's a good life, enjoy it, and life is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. So I'm going to walk you through step by step. If you are not a Club Q member and you're just checking out the videos, I'll give you a sneak peek of June's Club Q in case you want to sign up. Or if you are a Club Q member and you're thinking of possibly opting out next month, this is the kit that you would be getting. So check this out. Here's a little sneak peek. It's not even quite on the website yet. It will be soon. And if you were to sign up for June, these are the kits that you would get. Fun, bright, summery kits. And you also get free kits if you sign up as well. So you can see here there is lots of benefits of being a Club Q member. $32 a month, free shipping. You always get two double page layouts. With directions, everything in there. Plus you get an extra pack of paper, ribbons, some embellishments, stuff in there as well. This is some of the extra papers that you would be getting for June. So you get more than just the two layouts. You get free shipping. You get all the instructions for each one. You get some extra embellishments and quotes and stuff. But we are going to get started walking you through step by step for May Club Q kits. Okay, we are going to get started on the kit that is called Life is a Beautiful Thing. I have our instructions here. All the step-by-step instructions are on the back, but we will be doing the video close to what the instructions say. Since you are watching the video, you can stop it, pause it wherever you need to. I might do things a little out of order from the directions, but we will get it all complete. This is a pretty simple kit. I love it though because it looks like there's a lot to it because it's all layered up. And we are going to get started. So with this kit, we actually are using two 12 by 12 white sheets for the background pages. You can't see the white. We are going to be covering those. But this one is a little bit unique in the fact that we are building both pages exactly the same. It doesn't look like it on here, but we are going to build the background exactly the same on both pages. So the first thing that the directions always say, and if you've never done one of our kits before, just so you know, we always have at the top here any cutting diagrams or cutting instructions. We do that first just to get that out of the way. It does say to punch out all of your die cuts. I usually punch them out as I go because I don't want to lose them. So if you want to punch them all out, you definitely can. I like to punch them out as we go, as we need them. So here are the die cuts. You do what's most comfortable for you. There is also one cutting diagram in this kit, and it comes on a piece of paper like this. This just has some chalking ink techniques and stuff on the back, but the cutting diagram is right here on the front. So if ever we have, a lot of times we have things cut for you, but there's sometimes one or two cutting diagrams in there. We'll always put that in the beginning so that you can get the cutting out of the way, and that's what we're going to do today. So I have my two background pages laying out here, and then I am going to get the cutting out of the way. So after you punch out your die cuts, if you choose to do that, the first cutting diagram starts with the orange piece of paper, and that shows you on this diagram here. So I just leave this sitting right in front of me so that I know what I'm doing. If there's any tabs on any of your papers, go ahead and trim those off. And then it should be right at 12 by 12, and we will go by the diagram. And I like to cut off the strips first to kind of get the little things out of the way. So these are all 3/4 of an inch. So 3/4 of an inch by 12, and we need 4 of them.
So we will move our paper over to 3/4 of an inch. Trim. One more time. You'll need 3 that are 3/4 of an inch by 12. And then after we cut everything, we'll just set it aside and use it as we need it. Oh, I cut that one at 1. Luckily, we actually have some extra space here. So I'm going to cut another one. Don't do that. Cut them all at 3/4 of an inch. I went a little too far. Okay, so we have our 4 strips. We're going to set those aside until we need them. The rest of the diagram, you will need 4x6 pieces. So I'm actually just going to move this over to 4. Four inches. And mine's 4 inches. You'll have a little bit more left over here because I accidentally cut the first one at 1. Nothing like getting the mistakes out of the way to begin with. And then I'm going to put these together and cut them at 6. So you actually end up with 4 4x6 pieces. You're only going to need the 3. So you have an extra here to use for something else. So let's set those aside. So again, we just followed this. 3/4 inch by 12 inch, 4 strips. And then we need 3 4x6 pieces. We'll set those aside. Now we have an orange and green pattern paper that looks like this. This is going to be an easy cut. The next step is just to cut it into 2 6x12s. So trim off the tab. So you have a 12x12, and then move it down and just trim it at 6 inches. And if I start going a little too fast here, no worries, just pause the video and do what you need to do at your own pace. So we have 2 6x12s. I'm going to set this aside. And next we have a red kind of board looking paper. It has a check on the back. And this one we are going to want to cut into 4 1/4 inch strips. So put this into your cutter at 1/4 of an inch. So you want really skinny strips. Just 1/4 of an inch, and we need 4 of those. We actually gave you a little bit more paper just so it's easier to cut in there. It's hard to put just a skinny little piece in your trimmer. So you just need 4 of these. A 1/4 of an inch by 12. And then you do have a good sized chunk left over here if you want to use that strip for something else. But we just put that in there so that it was easier to cut. We're going to set that out of the way. Okay, so 4 1/4 inch pieces. Set those aside. And next we have, it's green with some orange shapes on it, some funky shapes there. We are going to cut that one into 1x12 pieces. So we'll put this in the cutter at 1 inch, and we'll do that 4 times. 1, 2, and the last one should leave you with 2 1-inch strips. Okay, so 4 1-inch by 12-inch strips. And after I cut all of these, I just set them out in front of me, in front of my workspace, so that when the directions ask for it, I can easily grab it. Next we have an orange dot paper. This one we are also going to cut into 1-inch pieces. So we'll do the same. I hear a train coming, so it might get a little loud. We live, our warehouse is right next to the train. And those of you that have done live events with us know that every time when we're doing a live event, we give away prizes every time a train comes by. And we get a lot of trains. So if you've never done one of our live events before on our Facebook page, our next one is coming up on June 4th, and it's an all day. We give away tons of prizes throughout the day, and we do live classes all day long. So if you haven't ordered that kit, check that out. It's a whole bundle of classes. So we have 4 1-inch strips. And next we have 2 pieces of paper that are just white, and they're 6 1/4 by 8 1/4, and we're just going to cut these in half because we want 6 1/4 by 4 1/4 pieces. So they're actually 8 1/2 this way. So we're going to put it into our trimmer, and I'm actually going to do these both at the same time. So we have 2 white, and we're going to cut it at 4 1/4. Yeah, our online live events are really fun. You get 14 pages plus a mini project done all in one day. And it's normally $119, but we did a special on the last one for just $99, so you get a lot. Okay, so we have 4 white pieces that are 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. The only other cutting that we need to do is actually on this quote that we will be adding. It's beautiful. Life is a beautiful thing. And I'm going to trim that up right now too, just since I have my cutter out. Just right on the outside of that black line. Long train today. And then I am going to grab my scissors and cut the end of that. And just trim this into a nice little dove's tail. Whatever you want to call it. Okay, so we have the cutting out of the way. I'm going to move the trimmer, clear up my workspace here. And again, we have 2 white backgrounds, and we are going to, I already have adhesive on mine. We are going to set these 2 up exactly the same. And as we go, you can use your Powder Puff chalking inks to chalk up anything and everything that you want. This one actually, on all of our kits, we suggest the inks that we have used. This one is Baja Blue, Fall Leaves, Montego Bay, which is a new color that's finally in. It's beautiful. And Jade, which is a nice green color. And I have some others out here that I'm going to be using too, so I will, there's always suggestions on there, but there's always lots of different colors that you can use. if you have some of our older inks, there's always something that will match. Okay, to get your pages layered up, you want to take your green strips, just like this, and you want one across the top and the bottom of each page. So I'm just going to tack these down just a little bit because mine's just a sample, but you might want to put a little more adhesive on there. But all the way across the top and the bottom of both pages. That's what makes this kit just a little bit easy to do. It ends up looking totally different. The pages end up looking totally different, but we are layering up this first page, or both pages just the same. So across the top and the bottom of each page. Okay, so next we are using 3/4 inch by 12-inch strips of the orange. This orange, not the dark orange. And like I said, you can use any colors you want. We suggest some ink colors, but you can choose from your stash of colors. This one I'm using Fall Leaves, and I just think that this leaves a really pretty orangey kind of rust color. Little extra dimension on there. It's a really beautiful color. My new favorite, I think, with our new colors. And I'm actually going to show you, I'm going to grab a little box here and show you a little trick. All I have is our ink box, but an easy way to chalk up a skinny piece of paper or just the edge of a piece of paper is to put it on the edge of a box and just run your ink pad down the edge. Instead of holding it in each little piece and doing little bits of it, if you put it on the edge of a box, you can just run it right down the edge. Super easy to do. It's one little trick that we do here. Okay, and then each one of these, whoops, like I said earlier, we are going to do each page the same, so we are going to add these right next to the green strips. So flush with the green strips. And I'm just going to chalk one of mine, but if you want to chalk all yours up, you go ahead and hit pause. Oops. I had already put some adhesive on this, so it's kind of sticky. But you put the orange strips right next to the green. I just love how easy this page is to get together because you do both the same. And at the end, you just turn it and it looks totally different. Okay, the next is, I already have some adhesive on here. The next is the orange strips, the 1-inch orange strips. We are going to put those right up against the light orange. Okay. Once you get that done, we have, give you just a second, put that on there. We have the 6x12 pieces of paper here. So these are going to go just in the middle. Just want to center it in the middle so that you have white, a little bit of white showing on each side there. And again, this is something that you can chalk up and give a little extra color to. I tend to chalk everything. I'm not going to do it in this video, otherwise we'd be here all day, but I tend to chalk every single piece. Lucky for you, you can pause it and chalk anything that you want. And again, on the other side, right in the middle. So mine is a little off because I cut it a little off. Cut my strips a little off, but so we have two pieces, but you won't even, if yours is off a little bit, see this is a little bit bigger here, it's totally fine because once you turn it, you won't even notice. It doesn't have to line up with this. Okay, so we have 4 little 1/4-inch strips here. And those are going to go, just to add a little bit of different color, those are going to go right between the 2 orange strips. I'm going to use a glue pen for this one. My tape runner's a little too big. I'm just going to add a little. And I'm just putting a little bit on just because mine's a sample. Sorry about that. That was my alarm to get kids at school. Just set an alarm for everything these days. Okay, so the red strip's right between the orange. And again, I cut mine a little fast, so mine are a little off. Just ignore that. You do yours just perfectly how you want to do it. Got in a hurry. Okay. Now we get into our die cuts. Sorry, everyone is just getting over a cold here, and I'm on my last days of it. Thankfully. I have 3 boys, and they all went through it and then gave it to me afterwards. So that was a fun few weeks. But hey, it could be worse. We're all doing good. So now we get into the laser cuts. This is where I start punching things out as I need them. And I'm going to show you here in the actual layout. So here's the actual layout. So what we want to do, we are going to turn this second page this way. So we put it together exactly the same, exactly the same, but you turn one going the other direction. And this is what we're going to work on here. So I'm going to punch out the borders, and this border is going to go right up next to the red board paper that we put on there, that little skinny red piece. And the other border is going to do the same on the other page. Across the bottom. And again, I'm going to use my my glue pen, just because this is skinny, right across the bottom here. Another train. See, at our live events, when we give away a prize, every time there's a train, we give away a lot of prizes. There's lots of trains. I hope some of you are joining us on June 4th for our Facebook Live event. You get so much in one day. 14 pages done, plus an altered project. So it's a fun one. If you haven't ordered, I think you can order up until May 22nd, unless we're sold out. I know as of right now, we only have about 15 kits left, and our live events typically sell out. Okay, so once you get that on, we are going to actually work on the, so you can have these photo backers cut. We are going to load those up with some color photo backers. And these ones are already cut for you in there. Whoops, they're on the wrong side. Those are already cut for you in there, but we're going to put one on each white backer. And remember, we have one extra one. You can just set that aside and use it for something else. The great thing about our Club Q kits is there typically is some extra paper in your paper pack that you can add to the page if you want to. So again, I am going to use fall leaves. Chalk this up a little bit. And I don't worry about it being a little too messy on here because you're going to put a photo in the center of this. You're not going to see a whole lot of this once it's on there. And then we will fill each of our white photo frames. This one, I'm going to actually use Montego Bay, and it just makes it kind of bright around the edges. We're just going to see, this adds a little bit of brighter blue on there. Bluish green, I guess. I think we call it green in the directions. It's kind of a teal color. So go ahead, and you can pause the video if you want to. Go ahead and chalk those up however you want, and then we will get a photo backer on each one of these white pieces. I'm not going to chalk all of mine. And if you're wondering that you don't have enough photo backers, there is 2 in the laser. So don't forget that. There's 2 in the laser. So in a lot of our kits, we use the negative pieces from some of our lasers because it's stuff that you will never see once you actually get a picture on there. Get these on. And then I will show you here. So in the laser, there was 2 pieces like this, and we're going to take these out the little swirls out, and these are going to be used as backers for the other two photos. Which is another reason I don't like to punch out really beforehand everything, because a lot of times we always in our classes tell people don't throw anything away because we might be using it. Why waste it? If we have the paper, we might as well use it. So we try to use it in everything. Okay, so once you have your little swirl pieces out, we're going to use this as a photo backer. So I'll just put a little on the corners. And then that goes right on top. And same with the other one. Punch these out here. Set those aside. And then you have all of your photo mounts ready. So from here, I am just going to layer these on my page. You can stop and pause and do whatever you need to do at your own pace. I'm just going to layer things as we go. The photo frames you can add photos to, and then just use your directions to kind of guide yourself to where you want them. This is how it is on my directions, but you guys feel free to put them however works for you. If you need ones that go the other way, horizontal, you can make both pages. This one goes in just a little bit on the orange. You can make both pages go to the side. If you want to turn it the other way, this is your project. We just kind of give you a guide, and then you go for it. Once you do have, actually I'm going to use a little of the peaches and cream on here. This is a new one too. It's just a much lighter orange color. Once you do have your photos on these pages, then you can glue down the rest. Or you can just lightly tack these down so that you have your page completely done, and then go back later and finish it out. So I'm just going to layer things kind of as I go. The one thing I want to show you is a little trick with the flowers. There's some strips. There's some single flowers in there that are smaller, and then there's some strips of flowers. So these are all attached. All the way across. And then you'll do both pages the same again, but on this first page, you just lay it across here. And again, you don't have to have these all the way glued down. You can move this down a little bit and then just slide these in behind it, put pictures in later. But for now, I just want to show you a little trick with these flowers to make it look like it's more layers and more dimension. If you have like the edge of a ruler, or I'm going to use my paper piercer here, with each flower, I like to fold them right in the middle, and it can look kind of messy. You're not gonna be able to see it later, but I just fold them right in the middle, and I use something to help me fold it straight. If you don't have something like that, you can use the edge of a ruler or something like that. You can also just take your fingernail, and fold it right in the middle too. But that just, you can kind of see that gives it a little extra lift. And then when you chalk it, let's see what color. So mine, I kind of did different colors on here. I did Montego Bay, Jade, Baja Blue. I went Baja Blue on the big ones. Fall Leaves, Baja Blue, Fall Leaves, Baja Blue, Fall Leaves. And then on the front, I did Fall Leaves, Montego Bay, fall leaves, Montego Bay on the smaller ones, and just kind of went back and forth. But I'll show you here. I'm going to actually use Montego Bay on these. This is a brand new one, so it's bright. And then I didn't worry too much about the one on the inside that's kind of hard to fold. But with each of these, I just fold it up a little bit and do what I can with the chalking inks. This is Peaches and Cream. Just gonna get the edges there. And I'm not gonna fold all of these, but you go right ahead, pause and take your time. And this one is Peaches and Cream. I really like this kind of light orange color also. And you can chalk them first if you want and then fold them. Once you get those all folded, you could glue this right down to your page. And then with the small flowers, I do the same thing. Let's chalk them up a little bit. Sometimes it's actually easier to do it before you fold it. Look how beautiful that color is. I love it. And then fold each up. And then you can see as you lay it down, that just gives it a little extra lift and dimension and adds some layer to it there. There's fall leaves. Looks beautiful on white. So I just kind of do opposite colors. So if you did an orange on the back, I do a blue on the front. And again, this is totally up to you. You use any colors you choose. With the lasers, there's lots of little flowers in this one too. I know some people are really good about punching these all out, putting them organized and in little boxes and folders and stuff as you work on it. So if that is you, you go right ahead. I just kind of punch them out as I go, as I need them. And then you use the picture on your directions as a guide. We used different size buttons, different colors all the way across. The leaves, you can use that as a guide as well for the leaves. Some are big, some are small, and you can see in the picture which is which. I'm going to put a few in here. But the leaves I fold right down the middle too. This one's been flattened a little bit, but you can see there's some small ones here, large one coming out there, large, small. So you have lots of leaves that you can just tuck in wherever. And what I do is, let's see a green here. Here's jade, which is actually suggested on the ink, on the directions. I just do a little more on the end because that's the part that will be seen. Fold that a little bit. And then after this is kind of glued down, and you could use pop dots behind the big ones behind here, just to add a little dimension to it as well. But when I go to glue these down, I just put some liquid glue right on the end, on the top there, so it sticks to the flower, and on the back, so it sticks to the page. It can be kind of messy because that end is not going to show at all. And then I just tuck it in right behind the flower, sticks to the flower and the page. Same with your little swirls that come up the side. You can see here these coming up the side. Just chalk them up like you want to, and you can just glue just the end so that you can still slide with picture in there later. Just glue the end, tuck it right underneath the flower. And then the rest of this is just layering for both pages. It's just layering the flowers and the swirls on. So I'm just going to do one page here, but on this side, you do the same thing down the edge here. So when you are finished, your pages will look like this. And you can mix up the buttons however you want, whatever colors you choose. So pretty simple kit, both pages done exactly the same. Once you turn it, add a quote to it. They look different, they have different directions that you can put different pictures in, and we're all set. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for being a Club Q member, and we will see you next time.